Okay, I'm out today. We're going to try out this little cook set that I've just picked up. The story behind this, I was out shopping the other week. I went to like my big chain camping store, and on my way out they had a clearance table. This was on the table, and it was, no kidding, $10. So that's $10 Australian. If you want some conversions, it's probably about $6.50 American. I think it's probably about the same in euro. Anyway, it's less than the price of a Big Mac. So what do we get? We get a 17 centimetre fry pan, a 500 milliliter saucepan, a 13.5 centimetre saucepan lid, a deep plate, a plastic mug. Total weight of the kit, 220 grams unpackaged. I've opened it up just to clean it. I haven't used it yet. It's all aluminium. And I could be wrong about this. I've got a vague memory that I probably saw somebody with a kit like this when I was probably out camping with school or something like that, maybe 30 odd years ago. So they're probably still the same dies from back in those days. But look, $10. What can you say about that? So I'm going to open it up and I'm going to give it a test. I'm going to see if I can cook a all English breakfast. Just a quick look at what it comes with. So you get these instructions. Gives you some idea of what the kit looks like. Alright. Always use gloves or tongs during or after use, as components may be hot. Yeah, I think that's right with aluminium. I think from memory and experience, it gets really hot, it burns the food, and it is a bugger to clean, and maybe that's why this was so cheap. Anyway, let's not be cynical, let's find out what it's like. So this is the set out of the box. It is really lightweight, I've got to give it that. That is a very, very comfortable weight to be carting around. It's got what is probably a design that's a little bit, or Jurassic I might say. It's a little bit out of date, which is a wing nut here, and that's a square nut there. It fits into a squared hole so it can't move. So to use this, you've got to undo the wing nut and you've got to reverse the handle here to make the handle for the fry pan. So straight away, that's going to put people off that really don't have the cognitive ability to work something like that out. Let's see if I have. So here goes, square hole, square shape on screw. Put square shape on screw in square hole. Put this down here and tighten. Well, so far I've failed. I just can't work out how I can get this tightened on the screw so that the handle doesn't wobble. Alright, I'm going to keep having another go and report back. Alright, well I've reverted back to the instructions. I'm pretty sure I've got it connected exactly as it shows in the picture. And as you see there, you just can't get this nut tight enough to stop this handle from wobbling. So, alright, that's problem number one. I'll just go through the rest of the kit. So we have the saucepan, we've got the cup, that's pretty small, it's marked there, it's capacity of 8 ounces. We've got the saucepan lid, and we've got the aluminium plate. I gotta say, that sounds, that looks pretty good. And to be honest, Just this plate alone is probably worth 10 bucks in my view. So it's not a complete failure. So let's just see what I brought along to eat today. I've got a fresh bread bun. I've got some little sausages. I've got my rubbish bag. Alright, I've got beans, oil, tomato, bacon. Alright, look at that bacon. That's what we call a cardiologist's holiday home, that bacon. And I think what's left is the eggs. And I think from memory I've got hash browns. Indeed I have. Alright, so I'm going to have a bit of a think about how I'm going to cook all of that. So I've got 2 eggs, tomato, beans, sausages, hash browns and the bacon. I'm going to have a bit of a think about how I'm going to cook it all. I think what I might do is maybe warm the beans up in this, cook my sausages on the fry pan and put the sausages in with the beans so I can use the pan to cook the rest of the stuff, and then just reheat everything in the saucepan once everything's fried from the fry pan. Alright, that's the plan. Let's see how we go. Alright, I'm just setting up the stove, and look, this saucepan's pretty wobbly. This handle's, wow, it's bordering on dangerous, I think. And fortunately I've been able to make a little mound here, so if I rest the handle on the mound I get some stability out of it. And I've just got the triangle mount there. Alright, I'm thinking I might just get some heat, and first thing I was going to try doing was to just season this fry pan with a bit of oil. I've got no idea what that's going to do for it. I know it's a good idea to do it on cast iron products, but well, this is cast aluminium. I've got no idea if seasoning it's a good thing or not, but hey, let's just see. Alright, I've got the stove fired up. I've just put a little bit of olive oil in the pan, and yeah, that aluminium got very hot very quickly. Let's just see what happens. Alright, I've got a little bit of a stick in there as well. Yeah, look, it got really hot really quickly. And that oil is smoking already, so that's only been on probably less than a minute. Alright, so look, out of the box, that handle arrangement's bordering on dangerous, so that should be your first mod. Get a washer or something in between the two parts of the handle, just so that it can tighten up. That seems to be the problem, is the screw thread runs out before you can actually get a decent grip on it, so you've got to put something in between those two aluminium sections there. Alright, well, you live and learn. And that's sort of burnt up, got a bit of coloration on the bottom. Alright, so I'll just put that to one side. First thing I thought I'd do would be just to boil some water and get some tea brewing while I cook the rest of the food. So I'm going to do that now, and I'm going to use the saucepan and lid. Alright, well, I put 1 cup load of that which is, I think I looked at it before, I think it was 8 ounces. And I'm just going to see how long it takes to boil. I've got my stopwatch running, so I'll report back when it's boiled as to its boil time. So that's just a standard Trangia stove, and it's at probably full heat by now. Alright, we've got a nice rolling boil there, and that is 2 minutes and 30 seconds exactly. So there's your boil time for a standard cup of water. Alright, so I'm going to try and pour this tea with one hand and see how we go. Well, alright, so there's nothing, no spout really to pour it. And that's a pretty small cup. Alright, so I think I'm going to drop the heat down of that fire and just put the beans on in that saucepan. Now that saucepan's got a bit of heat, so let's see how that goes. Alright. I've got to say, that's really hot. I just forgot and touched it with my finger, and I'm going to have some blisters tomorrow. So, always have a cloth. Alright, so I've got the beans on. What I'm hoping is a bit of a low heat. So the plan is heat the beans up, put the lid on, put that to one side, fry stuff up, and as the fried stuff cooks, put it on top of the beans. Then right at the end I'll put this saucepan back on and try and reheat everything up. So that's the plan. Let's see how it goes. I don't know if you can make out the white on my finger there, but that is an impression of the wire handle of that saucepan. So just be mindful of that. I only did that a couple of minutes ago and it looks like the blisters are coming up already. Alright, well I reckon the beans are done, so I'm going to put the lid on these, take them off using the cloth this time, and put them to one side, and I'll get the sausages going. I suspect they are going to take the longest out of all of the fried foods. Alright, so I'll just get this saucepan back on. Alright, I've got a bit of grass in that, better clean it out. Okay, sausages are on, and just thought I'd show you this. I picked this up. It's a folding mini spatula, and actually I bought this at the camping shop when I happened to find this cook set on special. There we go, folds out, clicks into space, and you've got a nice little spatula there. Alright, so now I've turned the heat down on that, and that's probably good because it's taking a while for those sausages to start to sizzle. It's better than burning them, isn't it, hey? Look, that experiment with trying to sear the pan, I might be imagining it, but I think it might have paid off, because that's not a very sticky surface at all, and I don't have a great deal of oil on that, so yeah, maybe it worked out well. Now that is comfy. Why am I thinking about hobbits? Yeah, look, I was pretty skeptical about this aluminium and its sticking properties, but I'm pretty confident now. It's looking pretty good. I'm confident enough to try the tomatoes. Yeah, so that's like a non-stick surface. Those sausages are just starting to brown up nicely. Alright, all is well with the world. Alright, I'd say those sausages are about half done, and I reckon another minute or two and then I'll flip the tomatoes and I'll get them off and after that I think I'll do the hash browns, and following that the bacon, and lastly the eggs. So, having a beautiful day today. It's middle of winter, but we've got a full day of sun. I think last time I was out, my last video, I was complaining about our lack of rain, but that's all changed. We've had a decent soak, and you can feel the moisture in the ground. It's very nice. Alright, and I have flipped the tomatoes, and I've just got a little bit of charring, just how I like them. So, sausages have got a little bit more to go. Yeah, look, I know I'm banging on about it, but I do not have much oil at all in the pan, and I've really got to take my hats off to its non-stick properties. That's as good as like a Teflon surface. So there we go, that's paper thin aluminium, people. Alright, so I've got the sausages and the tomatoes on the sauce, in the saucepan I should say. You didn't see that, that was definitely a two-hand job. Look, my plan may not work because there's not much room already, but anyway, there we go. So I'm just going to put some more oil on, and then we're going to try the hash browns. It's funny, as soon as I took stuff out of the pan, straight away I'm starting to get smoke and burning. So there's the hash brown. That's normally a pretty good test for non-stick. No problems there. Alright, well that's the hash brown there. Look, I've got a bit of contrast there on the light, but it seems to be getting a nice colour. It's crisping up. It's not breaking up. I reckon hash browns are always a good test for how well your pan will not stick to food. I usually stuff hash browns up, so this is quite impressive. Let me just see if I can turn it one-handed. There we go. Okay, well the hash brown is out, the bacon is in. I have noticed it's getting a bit brown just in terms of the oil that's left in the pan. It seems to be getting a bit dark and a bit burnt, but look, let's just call that flavour. That is a lovely sight and a lovely sound. Does it get much better than this, I ask you? Okay, that bacon's been on a couple of minutes now. I don't know what bacon might be like in your part of the world, but here you seem to get to a stage where a lot of liquid or water comes out of it that seems to fill the pan, and after that your bacon shrinks quite rapidly. But you've got to go through that process to get it to crisp up. The bacon has been sticking a bit. I probably should be turning it a bit more regularly. But we get back to this whole setup here with the pan. It's just not very stable. You've got to be really careful when you're turning your food. I'd have a lot more confidence if I could hold that handle firmly and know that it's going to keep the pan steady. Alright, well that's looking pretty good to my eyes. We're getting some nice caramelisation on the fat. I'm calling that done. That's going to go in the saucepan with everything else. I'll do the eggs, and I had an idea. Once the eggs are done, I'll put the plate on top here to try and keep them warm, and I'll put the saucepan back on just to try and heat everything up just a little bit. So hopefully after that everything will be nice and warm. Okay, I got my eggs on. I had to do that two-handed so I couldn't film it, but one thing I did notice, it gives you an idea just how lightweight this whole setup is. When I put the first egg on, the whole pan tilted that way. The minute I put the second on, it balanced itself correctly, so be mindful of that because it would be pretty easy for you to lose your lunch. But those eggs are looking pretty good. Alright, I'm getting hungry. Just thought I'd show you, I put what's the plate on top of the fry pan, and I've got to give them credit, that is a perfect fit. And it makes a really good lid. Alright, so I've had the lid on there just to try and cook the tops of the eggs. Just no way there I was going to have a go at trying to do these eggs over easy. I don't fancy my luck there, but they're nearly done. Another minute or two and they'll be done. Alright, those eggs are done, so we're going to do a swap. Pan's going to one side with the lid on and the saucepan's going back on, just to try and heat everything up a bit. Alright, that went well. So we got eggs over there just keeping warm. Saucepan's just gone back on. It shouldn't need much, I don't think. It's still pretty warm. Just try and get those beans bubbling just a little bit, and then I'm calling this one done. Alright, there we go. We got bacon, 2 eggs, 3 sausages, small tin of beans, 1 hash brown, and a fried tomato. All in this plate. So I'm just going to season things up, then I'm going to enjoy. Alright, well, I'm going to have a bacon and egg roll, but I just thought I'd show you the underside there of that egg. I reckon that's cooked really, really well. Not bad for cheap aluminium. Alright, well, I've just hoofed down that bacon and egg roll and it was sensational. My only criticism is I've made the yolks just a little bit too hard, but I really can't complain. It's exceeded my expectations. Alright, I just devoured that. That was really, really nice. There is nothing left. Yeah, look, I'm impressed. $10? That is good value. Look, the plate is excellent. The cup, where's that cup? Here's the cup. The cup, I think it's probably too small and flimsy to be really suitable for your teas and your coffees, but it's an ideal measuring cup. It's 8 ounces exactly. This saucepan and lid, yeah, really good. Fry pan, look, that handle is a real problem. You've got to do something to fix that, but it really did the job and I was impressed. No stick with the hash browns, no stick with the eggs, and I got a really nice caramelization on the underside of the eggs as well. So yeah, no, excellent. So look, you wouldn't want it as your one and your main cook set, obviously, but you can't go wrong for $10. Just put one away for emergencies, put it in the back of your car, something like that. Alright, I've got to think about having something like a tea or a coffee just to aid the digestion. I think I'll just pack them up and I'll do that washing up when I get home, I think. It's a bit of a mess. Alright, look, thanks for watching and you take it easy.